Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and welcome to September, everybody. This has become a bit of a routine, a tradition we do around here where I like to kick off each month with a bit of a news preview, get everybody up to speed on what we already know is coming this month in the Division universe, and break down what we know, what we expect to find out when things are happening, etc., so that you can plan out your time accordingly. Now, I only do this on months where it's warranted, where we know some stuff is actually going down, and out of the last few that I've done, this one is by far the biggest, and the wait is really finally over for a lot of these big moments and events that we've been waiting for. Some longer than others, but September is delivering us a big Division Universe content, announcements, and surprises, and I really can't wait for it to all go down. Unlike last month, where most of the stuff we were anticipating was happening later on in the month, basically everything we're talking about today is happening in the first half of the month, so we've got a lot of exciting stuff to go over. Let's not waste any more time. Here is your rundown of Division news, content, and more to expect in the month of September. Starting off tomorrow, September 2nd, we've got the commencement of PTS Phase 2 for the TU16 PTS of the Division 2. Assuming we've gotten the patch notes for that by now, I will link those in the upper corner of the video or in the description. Sometimes they hold them off until the last minute though, so we'll see. Regardless, we know that this is coming out on Friday, usually launches pretty early in the morning if you're in a North American time zone. I will be live streaming the PTS right here on the channel, so tune in tomorrow morning if you would like to catch a glimpse of the new changes. So yeah, very exciting stuff there. I hope we see some tweaks to the new gear and exotics. This should be the final phase of the PTS because we already know that the target release date for the full update is coming up pretty quickly, and we'll talk about that shortly, but they've got to get a move on with things if they want to hit that. So considering Phase 1 ran from Friday to Tuesday last time around, I would expect Phase 2 to run from tomorrow, Friday the 2nd, to Tuesday the 6th. So this will probably be your last chance if you want to jump into the PTS, try the new stuff out, and leave your feedback. After the PTS, or potentially concurrently with it, sometime during this next week, September 5th through the 9th, we should expect to see the Season 10 reveal live stream held by the team over at Massive. If you weren't aware, this is something they did prior to Season 9's launch, where they unveiled some more of the story details for that season, gave a recap and rundown of all the new content, did a few live questions, all that jazz. And while that was confirmed to us back in July, that this is something they will repeat with Season 10, the stream is also going to be extra significant for one big reason, and that's that the team also let us know that during this reveal stream for Season 10, they will be giving us our first look at the new game mode they're bringing to the game with Season 11, the following update. To what capacity or how much they will show, we don't yet know, but regardless, it's immensely promising and exciting to know that we're getting a peek at what's to come this far in advance. Now, like I said, we don't have an exact date yet for this stream. For Season 9, they held it on a Monday, but Season 9 also had an abnormal release date where it came out on the following Thursday, compared to every other update, like ever, including Season 10, which is going to release on a Tuesday. So I guess we might have to wait a little bit into the week for them to do the stream. Who knows? Probably no later than Friday the 9th. But yeah, stay tuned for more information about when that stream will take place, and I will, of course, do a video recapping all of the information whenever it does occur. But yeah, look forward to getting the unveiling of Season 10's story and a tease at Season 11's new game mode next week. Alright, we have what is then, to me, probably the most exciting thing happening this month, purely because of the sheer potential for what it could bring. You've heard me talking a lot about it lately. That is, of course, Ubisoft Forward, which is happening on Saturday, September 10th. Now, if you're unaware, Ubisoft Forward is an event that Ubisoft, who is, of course, the publisher of The Division, hosts usually once or twice a year, where they showcase all of their latest games, things that are coming up, etc., etc. It's been a very long time since the previous one. I believe it was since the E3 cycle of 2021. So across the Ubisoft portfolio, a lot of fans are expecting and hoping for a lot of stuff, but for us Division folk, the big focus is the Division Heartland. If you saw my latest Heartland video, which I will link in the upper corner right now, you will know that while rumors and speculation had already been gathering about Heartland potentially being revealed at this event, the evidence just keeps mounting. And while it's certainly not confirmed that Heartland will show up at the event, at this point I would be pretty surprised if it didn't. But it's not even just Heartland. I'd say it's pretty likely that Division 2 gets some kind of a shout, considering Season 10 releases very shortly after that event. Maybe they'd even tease some future content. Who knows? We've got the Division Resurgence out there now as well, which we'll touch on more in a minute, but that could make a minor appearance as well. I'd imagine some of those things might make their way into the pre-show, which they usually host about a half hour prior to the event. But regardless, the big ticket item here is Heartland. And my goodness, I certainly hope it shows up. Ubisoft Forward is happening Saturday, September 10th, as I said, at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. And if they do a pre-show, that'll likely happen about a half hour prior, like I was saying. And I will be live streaming the event right here on my channel. So if Heartland does get its reveal, we can all watch that together and you can see me freak out. So fingers crossed for the best, but regardless, Saturday the 10th is the big day of the month in my opinion. We'll see how earth-shattering it ends up being. But wait, there's more. As if that wasn't all enough, we will then be getting, of course, the full release of the Division 2's title update 16 on Tuesday, September 13th. Now, that is technically a target date. It's not 100% locked in, but Daria, who is the game's community developer, has hinted on Twitter that they are pretty locked for that date. So barring any major catastrophes on PTS Phase 2, we've got the next big chunk of content for the Division 2 to look forward to. This update, of course, brings us Season 10, continuing the story from where we left off at the end of Season 9, and introducing new gear for the update. That includes 3 new exotics, a new brand set, named items, and a gear set. Then, of course, the big content for the update is 2 new missions receiving legendary difficulty, those being Manning National Zoo and Tidal Basin. And the update is also bringing a lot of really positive quality of life changes for the game. Those include a number of things that stand out to me are the ability to now pretty much alter anything about your character after creation. So at the barber, you have full recustomization. They're now allowing you to have the option to hide your specialization weapon on your back when it's not in use, which sounds small and minor, and it is, but I am ridiculously excited to be able to create a much more sleek look for my character in the game without those bulky things on our backs. It'll really recreate that Division 1 agent vibe, so that's super awesome. And you may have seen I did a short recently highlighting a highly requested change where you can now redeem huge bundles of materials from your SHD watch at once, as opposed to having to do it one by one. So lots of great stuff coming to the game with TU16 and Season 10, and that's currently set to release on Tuesday, September 13th, after the regular deployment maintenance. That just about does it for the things that we have dates for, the big events and things we know are happening and when. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be a very front-loaded month. A lot is happening within the next 2 weeks. Pretty darn exciting. I do have a few more points I want to touch on, though, because there are some additional things that, while we don't necessarily have a date for, I believe are worth watching out for. The first is the Division Resurgence. We know that they have plans to do further close testing for the game, hopefully encompassing more regions around the world. And the only reason I believe they might be ramping up to do another test soon is that their social media has begun sending out new tweets again in the past week or so. And that's what happened before the previous test, after which they went quiet for a while. So that is certainly not guaranteed, but I would say keep your eyes peeled for a potential new closed test for Resurgence at some point during September. They didn't do one in August, so who knows? And like I said earlier, maybe we'll hear more about their plans for it at Ubisoft Forward. Speaking of Ubisoft Forward, one last thing I want to throw out there for everybody to ponder over: if the Division Heartland were to finally get revealed at the event, which, like I said, I'm crossing my fingers, legs, toes, literally everything I can. I hope to God it does. But if it does, then the game could release at any time. They've had this thing in the oven for a long time. There's really no telling what stage they're at or what their plans might be, but many have wondered if Red Storm and Ubisoft could be planning some type of Apex Legends drop where they just release the game, days after its reveal. Heartland is a free-to-play title. That's uncharted territory for the Division franchise, so I'm not saying it's going to happen. I mean, we don't even know if this thing will be at Ubisoft Forward, but if it does get revealed, there's at least a sliver of a chance that we could have this game in our hands before the month is out. Or if not a full release, then perhaps a more public test as opposed to the more private ones they've been communicating about holding over the past few months. Who knows? There's a long string of maybes there, but just on the minute chance it were to happen, I at least want you to be aware that there could be some serious Heartland movement if it shows up at Ubisoft Forward, because again, they've just been working on it for so long, so who knows what their plans might be. With that said, everybody, that is your preview of what to expect from the Division universe this September. Lots of exciting stuff coming our way literally within hours, from the PTS to our first look at Season 11's game mode, Ubisoft Forward, TU16's release. A lot of stuff is coming very quickly, and I'm super stoked to dive into it all with all of you, and I very much hope you all are looking forward to it as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts about everything that's coming in September. Y'all, when do you think they might hold the Season 10 reveal stream? Do you think we might get another Resurgence testing phase? Will the Division Heartland finally be revealed at Ubisoft Forward? So many questions, and I want to know all of your guys' thoughts about all of them, so be sure to leave them down below. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the absolute highlight of this month for me is Ubisoft Forward, just because of the sheer potential of what they could reveal. So if you're so inclined, I would love to have you join me when I stream the event on Saturday, September 10th. I'm hoping for the best, and if we get what we think we might be getting, that's going to be a fun moment to share live with all of you. But regardless, tons of fun stuff coming up. Let me know what you're most excited for. That's going to do it for me today, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold. Ow.